So you didn't get to hit your goals and you didn't get the result that you wanted. Today I want to share with you a process to make sure that that doesn't happen, so you are continuously hitting your goals and you can get the results that you really want. Hey, my name is Jesse Eker and welcome to another amazing video where I'm going to share with you the process to help you move through the motions of not getting the result that you wanted. See, in business and in life, but in business specifically, because that's what we talk about here, there are so many different variables of what can actually make the difference between getting a result and not getting a result. And I just want to let you know that the result is a lag type of outcome, meaning that the result is a mix of different activities that create that result, right? You don't just get a result from doing nothing, or you could get a lack of result, obviously, but you get a result based off of activities that create that result. So when we get a result that we don't want, or maybe it wasn't intended, a lot of us judge the result based off of our own, skills or our own knowledge or our own expertise. Like, we're not good enough. I knew I wasn't able to do that, blah, 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 blah. And we start to doubt what we're doing because the result isn't what we wanted. And I just want to let you know that not every time that you do something, you're going to get the result that you want. It's not about getting the result you want. The result is just the result. There's no meaning behind it. There's no anything behind it. It's just the result of different activities that you put together of what actually became the outcome. And so when you put a meaning behind it, you create an emotional attachment to it. You start to create emotional decisions based off of, hey, this is what I should be doing moving forward. This is what I shouldn't be doing moving forward. And you're making emotional decisions based off of the result, right? And that's what a lot of people do. And they keep running into issues of the result not being the result that they want, right? I'm saying result a lot, but I think you get my drift. So instead of looking at the result and making your decisions based off of just the result, we need to make our decisions based off of the process and activities that created that result. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we do virtual events. In the virtual events, there are different processes that will help us create that sale in the end, right? And so we have the beginning process where we have people sign up for the event. And so what that process looks like is we'll have someone visit our landing page where they learn how to get invited to our event. And then they either will sign up to say, I'm interested, or they won't sign up, right? And so that's our first process is, okay, how many people decided to move forward out of how many people landed on that page? And then our next process is how many people attended the event versus not attended the event. Then the next process, how many people booked a call with us versus not booked a call with us. Next process, how many people were qualified versus not qualified. Last process is how many people did we make an offer to and how many people did we close, right? And so all of those processes are going to give us metrics for our success, or give us benchmarks at least. And so when we look and dive into the processes, we might see that there could be some lopsided numbers that we want to improve that are going to help us with the process we want. So let's say we got 1,000 people to our event and then only 5 people booked a call. Right? Well, why did that happen? Well, maybe only 100 people showed up. So out of 1,000, only 100 people showed up and then 5 people booked a call. Well, that could be one of the issues. The other issue could be, the process of your offer. The other issue could be, the audience that you have. And so instead of looking at the result saying that result sucked, we got to look at what are the different parts of the process, the performance of those parts, so that we can improve those performances for next time. So we can make some new adjustments for next time. Right? So I had I have a student, and in the process of doing this, we looked at his event and he only had 15 people at the event, and he ended up making $20,000 so he sold 10 out of the 15 people. And he was like, I need to do better on my sales. And I said, no, you don't need to do better on your sales. You need to do better in different areas. And so we looked through his process and we looked at the whole process of his event. And what we found was that he only had 36 people actually sign up, and then 15 of those people showed up. Pretty good show up rate, okay sign up rate, whatever. But when we looked at how many people went to his landing page, we saw that over 1,100 people went to his landing page, and he was at less than 1% opt-in. And so when we look at this, we can say, okay, like this is where the most obvious place we want to start for making a better improvement to get even better results. Because if you look at that part, we can just say, make an improvement there, then we're going to get more people on there, we're going to get more people to show up, you're going to get more sales, right? If you do everything else the same. So don't change anything in the back end, change things in the front end. So he went from like this emotion of, I need to do better on the sales side and all this stuff, even though he did well, it was just his interpretation of he should have done better. It was like, you don't even need to do better there. You need to do better over here. And that's what a lot of people tend to do, is they change their decisions based off emotion versus analytics and data. And so we need to be very specific on that. Now, that's the process of events. Now, there's going to be specific activities that create that process. So what is it that we need to look at in consistency of the activities that we're doing that creates the full process? So I'll give you an example, again, with our events, right? So we get event registrations, which we consider leads. So what are the activities that are going to create those leads? Well, one activity could be simply spending money on Facebook for Facebook ads. One activity could be putting content posts out on my profile in our group to get people to raise their hand and say, I'm interested, and then following up with those people. How many people did we follow up with? How many people commented? How many people do we follow up with? How many people responded? How many people registered, right? That's a process in itself, right? The ads have a process in itself. We can also say me getting on stages or speaking at different events. How many people did we get into our list? How many of those people signed up? So then we can start to look in all the different processes, the activities that have their own processes, and see how do we do in those areas? Because that's where we start to make improvements. And so it's not necessarily the result of what you're doing, it's more how you're doing it. And so I just want to share that with you as far as looking at, it's not the model, it's the performance of using that model that we need to look at for getting different results. So what's your biggest takeaway from today? I want to hear in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. I love interacting with you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you watching this video, and let's see your comments below. Bye for now.